In this video, we're going to talk about understanding the Google Sheet file architecture and overall application architecture when an external, unbound Google Script project is connected to a Google Sheet file. A fully functional Zap bookkeeping template is made up of 1. A Google Sheet template, 2. An internal, bound Google Script project, and 3. An external, unbound Google Script project. Important note, all the core bookkeeping functionality is contained in spreadsheet equations. Much can be done without authorizing the internal bound Google Script project and without connecting and authorizing the external unbound Google Script project. This has been said several times before, and I'll just keep repeating it such that everybody understands that a lot can be done without activating these scripts. There's nothing to worry about, but if you want to just get your feet wet and get in and look around and check it out and you just aren't sure about the rest of it, you can do a whole lot of stuff without authorizing these script modules. So what I want to do is give you a quick look. We've got a diagram here. Click on that, on the file architecture and the application architecture, because there's one thing that's not intuitive. From a prior video, we talked about the fact that you were going to go get 2 files, a Google Sheet template and an external unbound Google Script project. Let me see if I can pull that up. Maybe I can pull it up, maybe not. In this image here that we went over, the process flow, which should be in the prior video, we talked about 2 files that you were going to make a copy of, the bookkeeping template and then the external library. Those are represented here by this dotted line and this rectangle, the Google Sheet template in the library. But look inside this dotted line, there's actually 2 boxes. One is the bookkeeping positive and negative values template, as you're going to think of it. But behind that, there is something called an internal or a bound Google Script project. You get to it via the Tools Script Editor menu item. So when we download these 2 copies, what we really get is the template down here that you would see right away. But behind that is this bound internal Google Script project. The interface for this and the interface for this will look identical to you. The user interfaces are the same. The script files that are found here, as compared to the script files that are found here, are far different. But the interfaces will look the same. So as we're doing this, try not to get confused. This one should have a file name that's close to the template, and this one will always have the file name of DIY1. Let me see if I can zoom in. So this will have the file name of the template or pretty close to it, and this will have a file name of DIY1. And an odd note to make, when you change the name of your file template here, intuitively it should change the name of this internal Google Script project, but it does not. To me, it seems like a bug from a Google perspective, because the one thing to note about this internal Google Script project is it cannot be found in Google Drive separate from this. Imagine that this is your file, and just behind the scenes, there's a scripting module or a Google Script project that you can use to enhance this file. But you could never find this file without first going into this and clicking Tools, Script Editor, and opening it up. Whereas this can be easily seen in Google Drive and opened up and modified. So that's why we refer to this as an internal Google Script project and/or a bound Google Script project, because it's always bound to a parent file. This is an external project because it's not intrinsic to a file, and it's unbound, meaning it is not tied to any single file and you have to actually connect it. So I think that's going to do it. There's not really anything more to discuss. Let's see what we have in gray here. This file / Google Script project cannot be found in Google Drive. It can only be accessed and opened from the Google Sheet template interface via Tools. So that just repeats what I just said. So that's it. I think hopefully this helps out just cognitively with understanding why you may see 2 interfaces that look similar and how this works. This will help out when we get into the connecting and authorizing. When we do connect, we're going to open this file. We're going to grab we're going to set a version in this file. Then we're going to grab a script ID. We're going to go into this file and register it as a library in this file, such that then it's accessible from here. One other small note here. This file cannot call a program in this file without going through this one. So if I want to access a script in this library, I have to call a script that I've created in this library that then calls this one. That's a unique thing that made things a little more complex. And so all the menu items oftentimes just have a wrapper. They have a teeny little one-line function in here to get to the function that we really wanted to run over here. So I hope this helps out with a little bit of cognitive organization as to what we're doing. And now we're going to get on with downloading those files.